one thing you learn about real Metro cops, you don't steal from a Metro cop. The chief at the time called a command staff meeting and wanted to know who we were.
Welcome back to the IA Guy, a police podcast, here with your host, Marlon Marachi. Another special guest. Well, you know what? He used to be a heavy-duty line mechanic. He used to be a mechanic for all these auto dealerships, and he turned cop, man, all the way from South Central. My guy, my dude, Code 6, with SB Guidry. What's going on, bro?
Hey, good to be here, man.
Yeah.
Good to be here, brother.
You know what? I got to ask you right off the bat, you know, we've known each other, kind of ran into each other in our career because we're both LAPD alums.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. When you saw this, because it used to be an internal affairs, a police podcast, you saw it on Facebook and all that, you're like, what was your, just out of curiosity, what's your thoughts?
Well, I was wondering what you were up to.
Right?
But I remembered you, and you were always a good dude. So I knew, you know, I didn't have any suspicious thoughts or anything like that. So I like what you're doing, bro.
I asked that to subsequently ask you. You came on the job in 1289,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And what was your impression of internal affairs back then? In other words, did internal affairs come into the academy and said, hey, this is IA, this is what we do? Or when you did your probationary period at Southwest Division as a P1, as a boot, what did your FTOs, what did your training officers tell you about internal affairs? What do you think?
Oh, they didn't have nothing good to say about them. They were seen as the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't have any dealings with internal affairs until I was a P2.
Okay. Can you remember your first time?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, what I learned was all internal affairs guys are not the same. You know? The best ones that I learned about were the ones that were street cops. So they knew that, like, when they looked at a situation,
Mm-hmm.
they could see it from their experience as a street cop, as opposed to some of the internal affairs people never worked the streets or never really, like, respected the art of police work.
I like that. I like the fact that, because it is an art.
Yes.
Every single day you run into something different.
Right.
Or you deal with something different.
Right. Right.
Here's why I'm asking, because my thinking is it's so important to have these conversations. One, because there's no other police podcast that's talking about internal affairs. Two, wouldn't you agree with me that we always preach transparency?
Yes.
And how transparent are we? I call BS, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're transparent with the public to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
We have these OISs, these critical incidents. We tell the public, we show them body-worn video, tell them what happened, all that good stuff.
Right.
But how transparent are we within ourselves, especially when someone gets jammed up with IA? What do you think?
Oh, it's terrible. The way that internal affairs is used, and the way that they treat some of them, treat police officers, is terrible. Terrible. I mean, they violate their rights, and they try and do whatever they can. Like, if they can't get you on the big thing that they have their sights on, then they want to try and get you on some bullshit.
Do you think that's probably the reason why there's such a negative stigma attached with IA.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now let me ask you this. You retired in 2020, right?
Yes.
2020.
Yes.
As you sit here today and reflect on this conversation, has it gotten any better? Do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, see, the problem is not internal affairs. It's the way it's used.
Okay, weaponization.
There you go.
Okay,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, because see, for instance,
Talk to me.
I had a good friend of mine who was a lieutenant in internal affairs, and I went to him personally to report misconduct, and he assured me, like, "Hey, this investigation is going to be done properly because I'm the lieutenant, I'm in charge of it, I'm going to take care of it." Well, guess what? It didn't matter because his boss not only refused to take the complaint, but they gave me a fake CF number too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and he was taken off the case. So, when you ask me about what would I say to internal affairs sergeants?
Yeah, so let me set it up for you.
Okay.
If you're in a room full of sergeants right now, they're right in front of you right now,
Right.
and you come in, you're at the podium, and they're getting ready to begin their assignment of internal affairs as investigating officers, what's the one thing you want them to know about that job?
Understand that you're not all equal, and that no matter what you find or what you think you find, the outcome is going to be determined by people above you. So you are when you're a sergeant investigator in internal affairs, you're a peasant. You're a peasant that your job is to try and find the facts and present them, but what happens after that is not up to you. And they have to learn that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuart, let me ask you this though. Who do we hold accountable for that? Because you've experienced it. I've worked both sides of the table. I've experienced it. I teach internal affairs throughout California. All students, sergeants, they've experienced. Everybody has an IA story.
Right.
More reasons to have a police podcast to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
But who do we hold accountable?
Well, it starts at the top with the chief. If you have a chief who has integrity, then he's going to use internal affairs the right way.
Okay. Now, in a big machine like ours, right? You're talking, now you have 8,000 plus sworn employees. At one point, we had 10,200, close to 11,000. How do you get the chief to keep his hands in that cookie jar?
Yeah, well, I'll say it like this. If you have a chief with integrity, then it will force other people to also have integrity. And the people below them, below the chief, if they all start being held accountable, then internal affairs will be used properly, the department will be used, all of its resources will be used properly, and you don't have this thing that happens now where, okay, let's say I'm a corrupt command staff person. I'm doing things that are out of bounds and
Unethical.
wrong,
Unethical.
unethical, and you're a command staff officer, and I say, hey, Marlon, man, I got to do this. I got to burn this guy and that girl and this and that, and you got to be with me. See, you have to say, nah, bro, I ain't doing that. Just because we command staff officers don't mean you always right.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna burn innocent people just because you got in a pissing contest with them. See?
Yeah, we ain't boys like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's no different than a dirty cop. You know, like if you see somebody's a dirty cop, then it's your responsibility to say, hey, dude, if we working together, we ain't doing no crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, I remember this guy I worked with. He liked to pull up the prostitutes, and we working patrol.
And holler at them.
Yeah, not. He would have them pull up their skirts.
Oh, wow.
Right in broad daylight, and I'm like, hey, dude, no, we ain't doing that. You working with me today. We gonna do police work.
Yeah.
We ain't doing bullshit.
Yeah.
See, and command staff has to do the same thing.
Yes.
But see, so many of them, and going back to internal affairs, see what happens is you get a lot of guys and girls who they want to make lieutenant because they're on their second marriage, they're paying child support, they're paying alimony, and they need a promotion. Yeah. And so they go to internal affairs because that's the gateway to stepping stones to lieutenant.
Yeah.
See? So, you know, you gotta make the whole department, you know, they got to be held accountable.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it doesn't become about the process, and it's very self-serving.
There you go.
It gets personal.
Yes.
You know, someone don't
Very
like Guidry.
personal.
Someone don't like Guidry.
Hey.
It's happened.
Oh, plenty of times.
let me
Get
ask.
in line. Get in line.
Get in line.
Get in line behind the parolees first.
Wow.
Then we can talk.
You know what? 2 questions. Give me on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Give me your reputation as a street copper that people thought about you.
It depends on who you ask.
So it just depends.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask street coppers,
Yeah.
they probably go, yeah, that dude, I don't know how.
Solid.
That dude was always bringing in bad guys with guns and dope.
Yeah.
I don't know how,
Okay.
you know? But then you say, then there's other guys who say, yeah, that fucking guy never handled his area. He was always making arrests. You know?
You're doing work. You're
Yeah.
doing work, man.
Hey, man.
You're doing work.
Ask the people that I would see at 210 Temple with a pistol bag and an envelope of dope, because we would see each other down there all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I got to ask you this because, you know, I'm going to take a turn on this.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Where were you on the day when the verdict came out on the Rodney King trial? Take me back to, it's 5 p.m. It's on the news. Officers were acquitted.
Right.
Where were you?
I was at Wilshire, working patrol, and they called us into the station because the verdicts had come in.
Oh, so you knew they were coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were afraid that we were all going to get mobilized, you know, at that time. But it didn't happen. Wait, I take that back. No,
5 p.m.
That was the start of the riots.
It's 5 p.m., man.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
night
yeah. Oh, yeah.
was off the hook.
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
Tom, did you go home at all or no?
No. So they called us in. We go and trail to the RTD bus station at 54th and Van Ness.
The bus depot.
Yeah, the bus depot.
Okay.
And it's going off. It's going down. I mean, it's, you know, fires, smoke, the sky's black, people are looting. And then Metro comes in with a Suburban with 3 dead dudes on the hood. Yeah. Some dudes that got shot at 114th and Central.
Damn.
Yeah, they had like a temporary morgue in there.
Asking you, being at bus, I haven't asked this to any of my guests, and
Yeah.
I've had some that experience that day.
Yeah.
Would it be, talk to me about the decision making being at the bus depot. Did you feel like you guys were there too long to go out? Or talk to me?
Yeah, it was a clusterfuck. It was terrible, man. They took all our equipment, radios, keys, shotguns, and we sat around for like 5-6 hours waiting for them to give us some cars, give us some keys, and they didn't give us our cars. They gave us some other shit, you know?
So it was a mess.
It was a mess. Yeah, it was a mess.
We could have handled it different.
Oh, yeah, definitely different.
In your opinion, you think that LAPD was prepared?
Hell no. No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the coppers were always prepared, but the leaders were not.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't think that the riots would jump off the way that it did.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Florence and Normandy.
Yes.
It just like exploded. You know. So yeah, that was a crazy time, bro.
As you sit here today and reflect on that incident, do you think, and I think I know the answer to this, that something like that could happen again?
Oh yeah.
In LA?
Oh hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think we're right on the cusp of it right now.
Yeah.
It's just
everything that's going on.
yeah, with the fires and you know, them trying to keep people out of the Palisades and then people in Altadena. It's a mess.
It's a
man.
mess, yeah.
LA is a tinderbox.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. No problem.
Well, look, what I do know, and of course, you know, you and I were chopping it up, and you were talking about, hey, Marlon, man, I got an eye story for you that happened to you, and we are going to talk about it, where you were assigned in this particular unit where you were responsible and had the oversight of these fleet of trucks that were coming in to the department through federal grants. And then next thing you know, shit goes sideways, huh?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah. What happened was we got an initial shipment of 4 trucks that were to be used if there's a terrorist attack in the city or county. These trucks had all the equipment and, you know, specialized suits and masks and, you know, guns and ammo, everything you need. So I'm waiting for the 4 trucks to get finished at Piper Tech. And the supervisor calls me and says, hey, your 3 trucks are ready. I said, what? 3 trucks? What are you talking about, dude? We got 4 trucks. He goes, no, the chief took one. I go, bullshit. These are federal grants, man. I go, show me the paperwork. So he shows me the paperwork, and sure enough, this captain had falsified some paperwork, and
Signed off on the 4th.
yeah, code 37 our truck. You know, so I said, ain't this a bitch?
And for all you don't know what a code 37 code is, it's a stolen vehicle.
Right.
Talk to me.
Right.
Ain't this a bitch?
Yeah. So
And you're a police officer
P3,
3. You're
man.
a P3.
I'm a P3.
Right. You got a sergeant lieutenant.
I'm a P3, but I'm a P3 that just came from doing 10 years of Metro. So I don't like one thing you learn about real Metro cops, you don't steal from a Metro cop. Yeah. Because I went and stole the truck back.
So I got assigned to Metro.
No, it got assigned to a unit that was at Piper Tech.
Per the chief's office.
Well, that was a bullshit story. But see, I still had a set of keys to it. So I went to Piper Tech and stole it back and took it back to the training division.
Where it belonged.
Where it was supposed to be.
With the other 3.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So here we are. The other 3, you got the 4th one, and you tell your bosses, here's the 4th one. Then what happens?
Then the asshole that stole it sent his people to steal it back.
Okay. So you got a code 37, another code 37.
Yeah, they stole it back and parked it at Piper Tech behind a gate with a lock.
So that you have no access.
Right.
So you can't code 37 it again.
Well, not then, but I did.
Okay.
Because they left it out one night. Oh, bro!
You just,
bro, you wouldn't believe this, man. You would not believe this story, bro.
Hey, man, I've heard a lot of IA stories,
dude.
Consider work that. This is a good one because, well, let me ask you this for the purposes of time: how many back and forths was there?
There was a few. There was about.
So this is going on.
Yeah.
Like a movie.
Yeah. And this person.
Okay.
Who I won't say his name.
Of course.
Because it don't matter no more.
True.
I got my money from the city.
Yeah, got you.
So I don't need to say his name no more.
100%.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So anyway,
we get it.
This pitiful excuse for a command staff officer retaliated against myself and my supervisor because he couldn't believe
that you were doing this.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it.
Like, who the hell does this guy?
Who is it?
Who the fuck does he think he is?
Who is this bald-headed black dude? Man, he couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, like I had the audacity to take back equipment that was stolen from me.
Right. And let me ask you this: your sergeant was in on it, meaning he supported you.
Oh yeah. Well, I just told him, hey, look, you don't need to know everything. But the truck is coming back.
Right. And he's like, got you. Roger that.
Yeah. But you know what? He ended up getting paid too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he got paid more than me.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So what I like to know first and foremost is what was the outcome of the fourth truck? What ended up happening in the end with that truck?
In the end, command staff, just like we talked about, rallied around this guy.
Okay.
And not only was he able to steal the fourth truck, but he was able to steal another truck too. Yeah.
Okay. And so essentially you're left with 2 when the order was for 4, and this is all federal grant money.
Right. Right.
I take it they cut a face sheet on you?
Not at that time.
Okay.
No. As a matter of fact.
Who decided to cut a face sheet on you?
Well, the face sheet was cut on my supervisor.
Okay, so
not on me.
Got it. Yeah. So they went after the sergeant.
Right.
Not the black ball-headed dude from Metro.
Right.
So they went after the sergeant.
Right.
So they cut a face sheet on him.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And let me ask you this. At some point, did you become an accused?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you found out, like what? How many, if you can recall? What I'm trying to get to is you got a face sheet cut on this date and, month.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, what, 2 months later, you're in on it too?
Well, let me kind of tell you how the story evolved.
Okay.
So, so the command staff person said that my unit was all screwed up, everything was a mess, therefore we shouldn't be in charge of the unit no more or have access to any of the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took pictures of all the equipment, the trailers, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Internal Affairs and said, I want to make a complaint against him for making a false complaint against my supervisor.
Right.
And I have evidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do they say?
So they...
they meaning IA.
Right. So that's when my buddy, who was a lieutenant there, he and another investigator interviewed me, showed them pictures, showed them everything, and the investigation disappeared.
But we're going to investigate it to its full extent.
Right.
Is what they told you.
They gave me a CF number.
Right.
A fake CF number.
Yeah, they gave you a number.
Yeah.
Now, when you went to go look it up, did it?
It was his complaint.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So it was a mess.
It was a mess. I can see it already was a mess. Let me ask you this about it. First and foremost, what was the unit that you worked, and what were your duties and responsibilities?
It was called Weapons of Mass Destruction.
Okay.
And our duties and responsibilities were to respond in the event of a terrorist attack in the city of LA, county of LA, and support the officers at the command post.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was what our job was.
Right. So you had all this equipment, all these trucks. If there is some indication of a terrorist attack happening, we're
there.
You're there.
Yeah.
And it was you, a sergeant, and
We had
a couple officers.
Yeah, we had like 5 or 6 officers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the unit.
And the unit was in existence and it had a good reputation, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. We trained the whole department for years.
Mm-hmm.
We were training like I think it was like 5,000 or 6,000 officers a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of training.
Yeah, lots of training.
Awesome. Take me to the time when you were interviewed with Internal Affairs. I understand you went to Internal Affairs to report misconduct, and they just they bamboozled you, is what they did, right?
Yeah.
They gave you a fake control file number, CF number.
Right.
But at some point, you had to have gotten interviewed by Internal Affairs.
Yes.
What was that like?
Well, it was interesting because all of the information that they had was false. The investigators didn't have the correct information, so they didn't know really what to ask me.
If you don't mind me asking, maybe just in bullet points, what type of information did they have? Well, what type of information did I had that you felt that, I don't know, you got it wrong. That's just not it.
Right. Well, they basically, all the information was that all of the equipment was expired and it was screwed up and wasn't organized and it was terrible. This is what they're asking me about.
Got it.
And I have photos
Of everything. Yeah. So you got evidence.
Yeah.
What were you accused of? What were the allegations, if you can remember?
Just some kind of misconduct.
Okay, so was it like what, conduct unbecoming, or was it a violation of policy, neglect of duty?
Bunch of bullshit. It was a bunch of made up bullshit.
So it was a couple of allegations.
Yeah. Oh, the story evolves.
Okay.
Yeah. There's bro. So as part of the story, I ended up going and doing an interview with an NBC reporter who was doing an undercover investigation.
Okay.
So I told them about my situation, and they go, "Yeah,
we want in.
We want in. We want to know about that."
Okay.
So I ended up meeting up with this NBC reporter and the producer and the camera guys with some other officers about 2 or 3 times before we actually filmed.
Okay.
So when they did the filming, the first night that it was shown, the chief at the time called a command staff meeting and wanted to know who we were.
Okay.
Who were the officers involved?
Yeah. Who
in
the
this?
hell did? Why did they do this, and who they were?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they found out.
And well, no, they didn't. They didn't. But one of the guys who was a internal affairs investigator at that meeting is the one who told me, "Hey, they got surveillance on you.
Okay.
Be careful."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which leads me to another thing about internal affairs people. See, there's some internal affairs investigators with street experience who will not try to trick officers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Once you found that out, then what happened?
So, internal affairs was following me,
Okay.
and I'm in my truck.
You felt that they were following you.
Oh, I knew they were.
You knew they were
me.
following you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew they were following me.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I set them up.
Okay.
Yeah. They were following me in my truck, the company truck.
Oh, okay.
So I hooked the trailer up to it, and I drove it to my house. And just got in and out of my truck, going back and forth in the house just to see what they would do.
Right.
And they were on the next block trying to climb a tree so they could see what I was doing and breaking the branches.
It's the crime of the century.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How long did that last for? How long did this go on?
This went on, I would say about 2 years.
For 2 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got transferred around. We got transferred to PAB. We got transferred to hazmat. It was blatant retaliation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I ended up getting transferred to 77th and getting sent to patrol after not working patrol for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say that the department pretty much had it out for you.
Well, some individuals.
I wouldn't say for you, but mainly you and the unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a collaboration.
Yeah. Well, to be more specific, it was one command staff member and his group who supported him that were out for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
because not all command staff are bad.
No.
But some of them know there's
personal.
rotten.
Gets personal.
Yeah.
It gets personal. We don't like Guidry and what they're doing.
All right.
Let me ask you this purpose is to kind of paint the picture about this because this is super important.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you sharing all this because it's so many lessons learned that I'm thinking about right now. But this 2 years went by and you went through an internal affairs compelled interview. You were told what to do. I take it your allegations were sustained?
No.
Okay, so talk to me the adjudication process. Now, you've been interviewed. Here, all these years have gone by, and now it's time to serve, to skelly you. You get brought in, and they say, okay, Officer Guidry, here's your IA. What happened then?
So, in the midst of this, we got an attorney.
Right, so you filed a suit.
Right.
You filed a civil suit, and then the department found out that you sued for this whole incident that occurred. Okay.
Right. So we were able to navigate and get some things
resolved. Right.
Because of the lawsuit.
You felt that the lawsuit gave you leverage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because once they know that, hey, we went outside and we have a lawsuit, so now everything you do is going to show.
Yeah, you're going to be scrutinized for all your actions.
Right.
So I take it at some point, pretty much the tables turn.
Yes.
Where they felt like you guys did some shit and we're going to get you on all this. But once the lawsuit went down, then next thing you know what? We need to back up because perhaps maybe we did the wrongdoing.
Right.
And so let me ask you this. In terms of the adjudication in your Skelly for your 128, your internal affairs complaint investigation, was that anything to do with, I know it has a lot to do with the lawsuit, but considering it was leverage, what ended up happening?
It went away.
Just like that?
Went away.
When you say it went away, did you even get served?
No.
When you look up in your teams and you saw that CF number, did it ever show up?
Nope.
Okay. As you sit here today and reflect on it, is that what you wanted?
Well.
Or let me ask you a better question. Having reflect on this incident as you sit here right now and having this conversation with me, is there anything else that you think you could have done to blame the department for treating you the way they did?
Well, I learned the hard way that the only justice you're going to get from the department disciplinary system is by means of a check. Yeah, you're not going to get an apology. You're not going to, okay, look at it like this. I'd rather have a check from the city than an unfounded complaint.
Got it. For their wrongdoing.
Yes.
There's some damage to that, and you deserve your monetary damage.
Yeah. Let me tell you this, because see, I tell you what it did to me, but it also has done this to a whole lot of other officers.
Yeah.
Once you have to deal with corrupt command staff, you never look at the department the same again.
Yes, and God,
It breaks your heart.
It does break your heart.
Yeah.
And you're a trooper, man. You've been around. You were around 30 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You gave a lot to the city.
Oh man, we had to live. We had to live, our lives by a standard and with integrity.
Let me ask you this. The complaint went away. Get that. You got monetary damages.
Right.
But would it be true, and I think you can agree with me with this quote, is the punishment not the penalty, but the punishment is the process?
True. Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of times you go through, bro, this is just one of my dealings with internal affairs.
Right, but this is pretty impactful.
Oh, it was.
I would imagine being in Metro for 10 years, as decorated as you are, right? I'm not trying to raise you up or boost you up, but I'm calling balls and strikes.
Cop,
You're a street cop.
Yeah.
You grew up in South Central LA.
Yeah.
You did your time in the South. You did Metro, and you get caught up in this situation. Next thing you know, after all that, you go back down to patrol. Not to say the patrol is bad, but they just treated you as if, you know what, we're just going to send you here, here, here until all this shit is resolved. And guess what? We're in the right. You're in the wrong.
There you go.
But then the tables got turned.
Right. Right. And see, that's what happens. See, it's a beautiful thing when your attorney tells you, hey, today I'm going to deposition this command staff person who's responsible for all of this.
Yes.
And then she calls you back and says, the command staff person called off sick. They're afraid.
Yeah.
They don't want to get deposition.
Right.
Because they know they're going to get torn up.
This happened when all this was said and done. Lawsuit is over and done with. What year was that? Because I know you retired in 2020. I'm trying to make a point.
2020 was when it got resolved.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you got the phone call saying this is done, my question to you is, you were still at work. You weren't retired yet?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Did you run into that command staff officer? Or
No.
did you see that command staff officer?
No.
Did you ever get a phone call from that command staff officer?
Nope.
Did you ever get a phone call from anyone from command staff?
Nope.
Did the chief or the chief of staff in the office ever called you and said, you know what, we got it wrong?
Nope.
So at no point did they ever admit that they actually got it wrong.
No.
Now, understanding that you got paid, understanding that the complaint went away, but don't you think that maybe that perhaps is more valuable?
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, you want to, see, I know you from the department. So we were held to a higher standard.
Correct.
And when you see that some people are not held to that standard, who are supposed to be above you, it's a rotten feeling.
Yeah, well, you know, what gives me a lot of discomfort in having this conversation, which, by the way, I've had 100+ guests come in. No one shared an IA story from our beloved LAPD that turned out to be where, you know what, the department is held accountable for all their wrongdoing. And I reflect back when I had a command staff officer who told me when I was in internal affairs, things like, look, we had this bias policing mediation program, right? Or you do a traffic stop, or there is a radio call, an incident where maybe sometimes as an officer, you got an attitude, your disposition's bad, you're a
human being.
Yeah, you're a human being. You just it's a fucked up day.
Yeah.
You know what? And you can come up to someone and say, hey, dude, check this out. You know what? The way I approached you, my bad. I'll take that. You know what? I didn't get any sleep. I got a new baby at home. Can't sleep and all that. Didn't have my coffee. But you still ran a red light. I'm not apologizing for that.
Right.
But what I will do is apologize for the way we interacted.
Yeah.
We are so good. Well, I shouldn't say we're so good. We tell the public and the officers that, you know what? That's what you should do with the public, but we don't do it with ourselves. Yeah. That is the biggest lessons learned out of this whole situation. All they had to do is pretty much bring the unit in to the conference room and saying, you know what? We fucked up. We got it wrong. We should have never taken that truck because it didn't belong to us. And for the person who's responsible for doing that, I'm going to jam them up for doing so. So on behalf of the department, you know what? You didn't do anything wrong. And I want you to know that. I don't want you to tarnish what you've had all these years.
Well, let me put a bow on it. Because they didn't do that, it cost them, between me and my supervisor, over $2 million.
Oh. And you know what? And here we are, taxpayers' money and the things that we do. You know what? It's the good old saying, we do it to ourselves.
Hey, they bought my house, bro. You know, so that's how you have to look at it. You know, like sometimes the only justice you're going to get is through cash, man.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that.
Yeah. Did it make you feel different about the department because of this experience?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was disillusioned, you know, because I didn't know about, okay.
You didn't know anything about this whole disciplinary system until you went through all that.
Wait, not only that, check this out. This is another thing I learned. Because I got transferred around to so many different places. Mm-hmm. One of them was PAB.
Uh-huh.
So
Parker Center.
Right, right. So what I learned was that, bro, there's people sitting at PAB doing their schoolwork because they are spies for a command staff member. There's people at PAB who are doing nothing to do with police work. They're doing all kinds of other stuff because what they're really doing is spying for other command staff people. Oh. Not only that, okay, it's a crazy world down there. See, for street cops, it's like being like if you put us in the Amazon forest or something.
Yeah.
We're totally out of our element.
Yeah.
So here's an example. I met this dude. I won't say his name. Good dude. His job was to basically be a gopher for a command staff guy. And he got a take-home car. He would get overtime. And all he would do is deliver, like, if they wanted, like, hey, take this to Harbor Division and give this to the captain.
Roger that.
Yeah, roger that.
And they go.
And away he goes.
Wow.
That was his job.
Yeah.
He's a police officer.
Yeah.
And that was mind-blowing, man.
Yes.
You know,
so in your lens, working the streets and working Metro, for 20 years, you went into a whole different world.
Right.
Of policing.
I wasn't in that royal family, man.
Yeah, and it sucks. Yeah,
I'm a street cop without no, like, attachments to command staff people or none of that. So
wow.
Yeah, it was a trip, man. Really, really a trip. But I'm thankful that you're doing this because, see, you're showing people that, like, hey, man, it ain't black and white.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah. This
and I've worked both sides.
Internal affairs.
I've worked that.
You know, there's good and there's bad. And there's, you know, there's people that, like, there's good people like you who want to do the right thing.
Yes.
And bro, I appreciate you.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
One of many reasons why I wanted to start this podcast is because, A, we don't have these conversations. Internal discipline is just taboo, man. Oh, you know, it sucks because I can only imagine you went to all these different divisions and they're like, don't talk to that dude, right?
Yeah.
Don't talk to him because he in trouble.
Well, let me tell you this. I went to the when they sent me to 77.
Mm-hmm.
I sat down with the captains, both of them,
Uh-huh.
and I said, "Hey, look, this is the deal. I'm here. I haven't worked patrol in 20 years.
Uh-huh.
I know I'm supposed to go to reintegration and this and that and find out what the new procedures are." And they go, "Yeah, that's all good, but you know what? You're working 12/8/15 tonight.
Watch 3.
Yeah, watch 3.
Damn.
Yeah. So see, you know, it's a unfortunately,
Yes.
you know, like there's not enough people in command staff who go, hey, wait a minute, man. You know what? I know they're fucking with you. I'm gonna take care of you.
Yeah.
Because I heard you a good guy.
Yeah.
You know, but instead they just go, yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, Guidry, what is it that you need? What would you like to work?
Yeah.
Or, hey, man, you want to work the kit room? I'm good with it. I'll leave it up to you. You want to work the desk? You want to work the kit room? I understand your CF number, your IA is not completely done yet. Yeah. You got some shit going on with the lawsuit and all that. Hey, dude, you know what? I'm happy to have you here.
Right.
You're an extra body. You tell me what would be the best way to accommodate you. Of course you're not going to do that. No. And you know what?
Well, I didn't even know how to log on to the MDT. I didn't know how to do none of that. I didn't know anything about the body cameras.
And you know what? And you're going to love this. And I've been saying this lately, the thin blue line. We're this big happy family. Yeah. We bros, man.
Yeah.
We love each other. We take care of one another. You know what? We just had the holiday season. Come on in on Thanksgiving. We're going to do a potluck. All of us together. We're tight, brothers and sisters in blue. Oh, wait a minute. Now we got Christmas. Man, once you work, Captain comes in with the Santa hat. Yo, man, you know what? Put your name on the in a piece of paper and pick it out. Whoever gets picked, I'm gonna work your shift. You can go home. We're together. But hold on a second. You got a 128. You got an IA. I can't talk to you anymore. I have to disassociate myself with you. And next thing you know, everybody in Southwest, everybody in 77 knows.
Yep.
We have to fix that. And you know what? It's not the accused. It's not you.
Right.
That's the department. And you know what? And I know it sounds kind of harsh, but it's reality. And sometimes perception of internal affairs being this evil entity, you have it right here. And I really, really appreciate you sharing all that. Hey, man, let's move on. Let's go to worst incident in your career. Talk to me.
Wow. I'd have to say car crash where two officers were in pursuit and you know, I'm monitoring at an intersection, see the suspect go through the intersection doing like 130, and the police car is like way behind, but they still tried to make it, and end up being a gigantic crash, and I was the first one to get to the car, and it was two female officers, and they were on top of each other. The driver was on top of the passenger, smoke, you know, glass everywhere. They looked like they were dead. And, you know, I started grabbing them and shaking them, and then they were both knocked out. But thank God they didn't die. But yeah, that was a bad one. Wow, that was a bad one. Because I thought they were dead.
The scene was horrific.
It was horrific. Yeah, and then the people, you know, that also were involved. You know, I mean, there's a bunch of
Right.
different
That one sticks out.
incidents, but yeah, but that one because
Those are your brothers and sisters in blue.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, what are we doing now? You retire, right?
I'm retired, brother.
Good.
I'm retired.
You do a little here and there, just a little
Yeah,
something.
a little here and there, and still spending city money.
Okay.
You know.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So I get an invite to that mansion you got out in Arizona.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's
Anytime,
do this,
brother. Anytime you in the area, come on through.
Any advice you have for anyone that's coming on the job to become a police officer? What advice do you have for them?
Stay true to yourself. Have integrity. Treat everybody with respect until they showed it. You got to treat them differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta put some hands on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And hey, get ready for a ride. Greatest show on earth, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's
nothing
good.
like LA.
Yeah. I'm sure you're proud to a certain.
I am. I despite everything, I'm very proud of the work I did and the people I worked with. Good people like you and many others. I'm, thankful, blessed.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, man. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for showing up, Guidry.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got it, man. You owe me. I'm going to the AZ. I got to come see you. Hey, like always, please be safe out there, and don't forget to go Code 6. Thank you.